Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and today we're going to talk about whether or not men should coach women's and girls basketball. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so with the notification bell when you do. Make Rob happy. So,
Yeah.
if you don't know, Rob played basketball in high school and college, and he also coached boys and girls basketball, but not men or women, right? Just boys and girls.
Well, I coach high school,
High
men's
school?
and yeah.
That's boys. Um, in the WNBA, they just hired a white male coach, Rashid, and this is the pronunciation I have from the internet, Mez-Ian. He's actually was a Belgian Olympic team coach, and he coaches in a professional team over there, and they picked him, so he seems qualified. And then some people on Twitter said, wasn't there a black female coach available? As if you got to always hire a black female coach in the WNBA or even a female. And Rob, do you think that obviously you did coach, girls? And do you think it's okay to hire men to coach women and girls basketball? And you think there's any downside to it?
Sure, I think it's fine, Mark. I have a friend who I went to college with, graduated college with. He was a great men's coach. He just recently retired. Every team he coached, he brought them up. And now this coach here from Belgium women's team, he also coached in the league, and they won a championship in 2023. Ligue Féminine basketball championship. So it's Villeneuve de Escu. It's from my French here. Villeneuve de Escu that he coached to have during the 2023 season. They won a championship. They were 19-3 and 6-0 in the playoff run. So his background as far as coaching women's is pretty good. And mine was I coached girls basketball in California over 13 years. And most of the teams that I coached, every year we made the playoffs and we won some championships. So, I mean, it's weird. It's weird, Mark. So I'd never coached. I didn't coach all 13 years, but I was asked to coach a girls team when I was at the St. Vincent de Paul, which is a CYO team. So I was kind of like, oh my gosh, it's kind of strange. And then in high school, it was kind of strange because you go into the locker room. So you're in the locker room with all women. And there are certain things, men, we don't know about. I mean, I'll say it straight out, maybe they're on their period or something's going wrong. So you really don't know what a woman or a girl is feeling. So that's kind of a challenge right there if you're a male. But on the other hand, it goes back to where they do kind of appreciate you. They kind of respect you a little bit more. The girls did, or the women, and they listen to you a little bit more because you are that male figure, and they're used to having that father figure, and you're telling them something. And I found that they listened much better than the boys. I felt they did.
They found that in pistol in rifle shooting that women were better students than men, and that's why they do well in those things. Even though people think of men being snipers and better shots. So, you thought the girls listened closer than the boys, and they were more coachable.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's I think it's more of a challenge to try to coach women's or girls basketball because it's more like I always state, it's more of a ground game. By ground game means that you don't see them. I mean, as you see every once in a while when some of the women's games where they have the lob up and stay up pass. There's not too many lob up passes and stay up passes for a women's game. I mean,
I haven't seen any in the WNBA. I've seen attempted lobs, but no one can get up high enough over the rim for it to be a real lob.
Right. I mean, if they do it, the hand's already up. It's not really like you set a back screen for in the men's game, you set a back screen for the guy and you lob it up towards the basket and the guy grabs it and he either dunks it or lays it up off the backboard. So it's more of a ground game, which makes it a little bit harder for you as far as designing plays, and you have to be a little more accurate as far as, especially on offense, to get the movement. But and I have to say they're not as quick, as far. I mean, there are some quick ball players like Hidalgo and Mitchell, but I mean, you're gonna have a quick player when they pass the ball, they kind of think about it first and then go through. So it's a thinking game for them, which is great. It's very cerebral, I think, when you're coaching women's basketball. But if you get them on the same page as you and believing in you, and you get them, make them happy. I mean, because they have their moods, just like any athlete, they have their moods, and you have to look at them and not treat them, maybe not yell at them or treat them like you would a male, like go off on them, which I'm sure some coaches do. But sometimes you got to talk to them like, hey, how are you feeling? Well, I don't feel well today. I'm like, oh, okay, why? And you have to talk to them. It's a little more talking, getting into their feelings more than just say, do this now type thing.
Well, there's been a lot of successful male coaches in the WNBA that have won championships and have won Coach of the Year. So you're going to turn down those coaches because you have to have a female or a black female as the coach just because more of the players are black. And of course, all the players are female, at least right now. I don't know if they're going to be in the future. Look what's going on with transgender stuff. But yeah, so I don't have a problem with it. If I had two coaches, I would take whoever was more qualified. I wouldn't worry about their race or their sex. Now, if I had two coaches that I thought were like identical almost in experience, and I thought had the same feeling, like I was on the fence between two, then I might take a female over a male just because I think they were kind of like tied. But other than that, I would just take who was the best one was available. That's as far as I would go. I would take that. That's what I would do if I was an owner.
I mean, you can see why there are more female coaches in college and WNBA because, yeah, if you're a female, you can relate to a woman. You can relate to them and you get along better. You know how they are and stuff like that. You can relate to them. But like I said, on the other hand, I mean, to just out and say like, well, this should be specifically all women coaching women's basketball. It's like you said, the bottom line is, does this person know how to coach? That's what it comes down to. If you know how to do X's and O's and talk to how to show them how to play defense, and you know how to get to their heads and enjoy the game and see how they react. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're, like you said, with color or gender. It doesn't matter. Are you a good coach or a bad coach? It depends on you as a person. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, like you said.
Well, if UConn didn't hire a male coach, they might have 11 fewer championships. So,
right.
I don't know what to say. So, I can see a slight preference for, like I said in this example I gave, but other than that, I think you should just hire the best available coach. And like years ago, men had more coaching experience than women. I think it's more even now. There's a lot more women have gone into coaching, so I don't think that's the issue anymore. But I think before maybe that was the reason that men were being hired to coach women, was because they had more men were in the coaching ranks. But now I think a lot of women have gone into coaching, and that's good. And so then maybe in the future, as more and more get into it, there'll be more and more women hired for women basketball, both at the girls level and the women's level in the WNBA.
And you respect this in the locker room now. See, that's where people are going to be like, okay, that's where the female should be more in the locker room. So after the game, I mean, they have to change. So that's the main thing. If you, as a male, you respect that. You're like, okay, game's over. You do your talk, and you're out. You're out of there. Of course, you're not in there. So you respect their privacy, which you have to do if you're a male coach. If you're a female coach, of course, you can stay in there, but you have to be out of there.
Yeah, but the game's over. They don't have to shower 30 seconds later. They can wait in the locker room while you say what you want to say after the game, and then you leave. So I don't think that's a big obstacle.
Right, but some people think, why is a male in the locker room? I mean, some people really. I mean, seriously, when I got interviewed for one of the coaching jobs, I didn't get it, but it was the question I thought was very strange. The guy asked me, "So are you married?" I'm like, "No. What does this have to do with me coaching women's basketball? Do you have any kids?" I'm like, "No." "Do you have a daughter?" I'm like, "No."
He's trying to find out whether you're gay or not.
I'm like, what? Why are you asking me these questions? You're trying to say I'm some kind of creep? I want to coach women's basketball because I'm kind of creepy. Is that what you're trying to get into? If you're trying to say to me, it was very strange. I'm glad I didn't get that job because I'm like, this guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? I coach girls.
I mean, if you have a pattern and you set up, the same thing after every practice, every game, that right afterwards you're going to talk to them and then you're going to leave, What's the difference? They're not sounding like they're going to start changing in front of you or anything like that. So I don't even see it as an issue.
Yeah, but
before the game, you wait till everybody gets in their uniform, and then you let them know you're coming in. And you come in before the game, you talk to them right before they go out on the court.
Yeah, I mean
that's the same pattern each time. I don't think that's an issue. They know what.
Yeah, that's what I did in high school. That's what I did when I coached high school basketball. Same thing with the younger grades. With 8th grade, they came to already in their uniforms. But when in high school, that's what they did. They had to change. So after that, I just left after what I had to say.
They came in their uniforms?
The young kids, yeah. And the younger, like 5th or 6th grade, we had them come in their uniforms. They didn't change at the gym.
I think, I played in an 8th grade church team I told you about. I think we showed up in our uniforms too. That's right.
Yeah.
But in high school, no, because you're there for school, you don't show up in your uniforms. You just change after, for practice. And we didn't show up in our uniforms for the games either. Yeah, in high school.
No, you can't.
I didn't really think
walk around campus in your uniforms, like, huh?
What was that?
Did you walk around campus in your uniform in high school?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
It'd be very strange.
At Irondequoit, where we went, if they had a game, you'd wear a tie, so they knew you had a game. Especially if you had a home game, you wear a tie so that people would know you had a game, so they would show up for the game. That's the only uniform people had. So, anyways, all right. So let us know what you think. Do you have any problem with men coaching either girls or women's basketball? And do you think there should be any favoritism towards hiring more females, especially in the WNBA level? Where those are kind of prestigious jobs and you get paid more. Or I think like at the lower level, you get hired for high school, basketball or something someone didn't lose a high paying job, but at the WNBA, they get between $500,000 on up to $1 million, $1.5 million. So I think that's where it comes in. Well, certain jobs aren't going to females or to black females or whatever, and those are high-paying jobs or more.
Let me just finish up with that, Mark. Is that I think the reason why they hire women basketball players in the WNBA is because they're former players, so they want a former player and who knows the thing. So that I see that's why that would be their first choice. They rather hire a former WNBA player who knows the league and knows the players and knows that. So I'm pretty sure that's why they prefer.
I have no problem with that, given, like I said, but do whatever. I think the owners should be able to do whatever they want, whoever they think is the best coach. If they have slight preference for women for that reason that you just gave, I have no problem with that either.
Right.
So I don't know. I never coached. I played ultimate frisbee, but I never coached. But I was just like a captain. But I wouldn't have any hesitation coaching girls or women's ultimate frisbee.
Would you coach them differently, or would you coach them the same way, or how would you coach them?
I don't know. I had to think about it. I never coached, so I didn't get into coaching. It was too time consuming for too little money. That's why I never got into it. I wanted to coach, but it was it's pretty time consuming, too little money.
Yeah, it's time consuming. Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to just enjoy
it. I had a job, and it was, they were going to pay me a lot of money. It was a different story. I would have got into it.
Well, I mean, I didn't get paid that much. I mean, I had a job too. I was working at the hospital getting paid, but then I'd get paid by the CYO, in high school. For me, it was, just really just the little addition money. But I liked it because I just like the joy of being just coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And yelling, I get to yell at people.
Rob, you like to yell at people?
Not
Rob,
really.
Our listeners think you're easygoing, mellow.
Well, my friends used to come to my games, boys and girls, and they come to my games, and it's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You see how mellow I am, but my thing was the clipboard. Mine wasn't yelling too much. It was the clipboard, and that's all my players remember me by is my clipboard. The clipboard,
I know a woman.
The clipboard, Mark,
coach girls basketball. I think it was like 7th, 8th grade basketball. She said the other coach thought she got too excited, but they won 8-7. That was the score of the game. There wasn't a lot of scoring going on.
Well, my thing was that with the clipboard, it tended to slip out of my hands sometimes for some reason. I don't know how.
An accident?
Oh, of course, totally an accident. Would just all of a sudden just drop on the floor when somebody did a bad play. I don't know how. I don't know what happened during the game. I guess my hands were kind of sweaty, I guess. And
did they start calling you Rob Clipboard Glover?
No, No, they were. I mean, I saw a former player last year when I went to San Francisco, and he's like the athletic director now at the church that I coach. And first he goes, "Hey, Rob, how you doing? How's your clipboard?" not like how I am. How's your clipboard?
So everybody, let us know what you think about Rob's clipboard. Let us know what you think about this topic. I think it's an interesting topic. I think as time goes on, I think more and more females will be hired. I think there's been a slow progression towards that, but I don't think it has to be 100%. That's just my opinion. Let us know what you guys think. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make Rob happy, or else he's going to drop and throw that clipboard around.
That's right. Don't make me. Where is it?
And make sure you hit the notification bell when you do. You get notified of our next video. And guess what? Join us for our live show every Monday, 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays. And you can call in for that show. So it's pretty cool. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super things down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Run a lap.